changing out the radiator on a 2008 Nissan Rogue 2-wheel drive. Radiator has a leak, so it needs to be replaced. First thing we need to do is drain the coolant. Underneath the car, you will need to take this cover off, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little, and there's going to be a couple more back there, but all it is a clip that you can get a flathead screwdriver or a pry bar, a pry tool that just kind of push the clip out, and then it'll pop these out. The drain plug is right in the middle of the radiator, beneath the car, in front of the bumper. It's right here. You need a Phillips screwdriver to release it to drain. So to release pressure so it can drain faster, open the cap. So we're going to take this cover off that goes to the intake. That way we have access to the radiator. So all it is a clip that you use this pry bar, and then you're just going to pull the clip off. Usually it should have 3. Of course, there's always something missing. After that, it's just pretty much it's clipped over here. You're going to pop that off, and it should just pull right off. Here's another clip back here, and then there you have it. So on the upper hose, one goes from the radiator cap to the reservoir. So it's basically a clip here. You can actually pry off with your finger, and then take that off, take it off the clip, like here, pull it to the side. And then you got the upper hose that goes to the upper level of the engine where the thermostat is. So you're gonna you can use 2 types of pliers that you can have on hand, and it's the needle nose and regular pliers. Sometimes the needle nose are gets in use because to tight spots, and then these regular pliers, you know, for bigger clips. So what you're gonna do is pry that open, pull it back, and then widen up the mouth of the plier and kind of turn the hose so it can break loose, and then you can just yank it off and just pull that to the side. So next we're going to disconnect the harness from the 2 fans. One goes to the AC fan and one goes to the motor. So what you're going to do is push the clip and then pull out. Okay, and then now we're going to pry these clips off that holds the wires to the fan. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you just pull that to the side. Next, we're going to get a 10mm socket, and there's 2 10mm bolts on the top, and that's going to that's going to release the fan where we can just pull it right up. That's one. That's two. Now you pull the fan out and it should just release. And it's going to be a little tight in there because of the radiator, but gotta play with it. And there you have it. And that's the fan. Alright, so next we're going to release the lower hose that's here at the bottom of the radiator. And all it is another clip, and you get the pliers and clamp it and release. So what you're going to do is clamp it, pull it back, and while you're taking this lower hose off, when you take the hose off, more coolant is probably going to drain out, like so. So get a drain pan to catch that and just pull that hose back. And then next we're going to release these two clips that hold mounts from the top of the motor to hold the radiator in place. And all you need is really a flathead. And up close you can see all it is you pull the tab, move that to the side and pull back. And when you put these back on, it's not hard to know how to put this back on, because on the top of the clip it says up, so this needs to be on upwards and not upside down. And there's a rubber bushing that goes in between, and that holds the radiator in place for when the vehicle is running. It helps the vibration not to shake the radiator or make any sounds. And of course I push the clip back in, so okay, and it just comes off like that. And then we do this other side, same thing, release that clip, this side here, pull this side off, and then you can really, if whatever side these go in, it doesn't matter, it's the same thing. And then put it to the side, and then from there it's actually loose and ready to go, and you just pull out. Of course, coolant is going to drain, and there you have it, the radiator. This is the radiator replacement for the 2008 Nissan Rogue. We're going to open the box and compare the two, make sure if we got the right one. If we didn't get the right one, we're screwed, but I doubt that. There was no change or difference in all the makes of the Rogue. But before putting it on, you need to check if everything matches. So from the left, looks like the clip matches, the hose matches, where the screw in matches, radiator matches. And from the right side, again everything matches. So it looks like everything looks good. From the front end, everything looks good except one's dirty and the other one's clean. Thank you. So now we're going to do a full installment of the radiator. This is the new radiator. Here we go. So basically all the hose will face towards the motor, and that will be the back, and the front end will go towards the front of the car. So basically, before I set this in, I forgot to show y'all. On the bottom, there's two ends that will go into two slots, and then it's here at the bottom, and that's where it's going to set into place for the radiator. So that's where this one's gonna set into. Okay, let's try to fit this into the slots. Now there's one and there's two. Okay, and again, the clips, the one is saying face up, that's gonna be the top. And these gonna go in these slots, like so. And they're just gonna snap in right into place. And those are the clips that will hold the radiator in place, like so. Okay, next we're going to connect the lower hose to the radiator, like so, and then clamp it on with the clamp. Like so. And then from there, this is where we add the fan back into place. When you put the fan in, there's two settings on the bottom that will fit into these slots, these two slots, and that will set it into center place. And I will grab the fan. Here's the fan. These are the two that will guide into that place and set into center places. So we're gonna set it inside like so. And there's gonna be hoses and everything in the way, so just kind of play with it, try to not mess up anything. And I think we have it. Okay, next we're going to screw in the bolts into here, and they're 10 mil, two 10 mils. One here, one here. So one goes right here. Go ahead and hand tight that into place. The second one here. Oh, that one. So since this is a new radiator, it's going to be hard to hand tight it, but we'll go ahead and screw that in, but not all the way until we get both of them in. And then once you get both of them into there, then you fully tighten it. That's one. That's two. Second, what we're going to do is go ahead and clip the 4 clips into the fan slot, so it holds the cable in place. And then we're going to connect the fan to the harness. There's one, there's two, and from there we will connect the upper hose that leads to the thermostat. Just put that slot in and then clamp that on. There. Okay, next, the hose that leads to the canister, overflow canister, will connect to the line here, and then this will go into where the cap. Actually, let's see here. It looks like it's not enough slack. Okay, and then this can be hand clipped. All right, so next step is to fill it up with radiator fluid, coolant, and this just uses a green 50/50, and let me show you that. You can get this from any auto parts store. This one's from AutoZone. Anyway, extended life, antifreeze and coolant 50/50. So 50, half coolant, half water, diluted water, and it's just filled up. It's just regular green. And of course, you're gonna kind of spill it everywhere before you can make it into the hole. It should just use, this is a gallon, and I don't think it'll take the whole gallon. I think it'll take maybe a little over half to fill up this radiator, because the engine already has coolant. But once you fill it up, then you run the motor with the cap off so the bubbles can be released, because there will be air in the system. But if you leave the radiator cap open while running the engine, it will release the air. Actually, this is taking the whole gallon. So last but not least, we already put the coolant in there. Now we're going to go ahead and put this air vent back into the motor. So basically it just clips on there, and then you put this little clip into place. There's supposed to be 3, but again they're missing. So we'll just put the one there. So now we're gonna run the motor and check if there's any leaks around the connection of the hose and around the area of the radiator, and then let the air flush out through the top. So we're gonna leave the cap off. So I'm gonna run the motor. So now we're going to look around the areas. As you look inside here, don't worry with the cap off and it's still cool. It's basically the bubble is going to come out. As you can see, it's running up right now because the bubble is popping out of it, because there's air in the system right now, and that's a good way of letting all the air out. As you can see, bubble popping, that's the air coming out. And then you're going to check in areas like the lines here if there's any leaks, and then down here at the bottom to see if there's any leaks where the lower hose is. And it looks like it's pretty good. It's hard to see from up here, but from where I'm standing I can see it pretty well. And then right here, if there's any leaks, it looks good. And once you let it run for a little bit and let the air come up, and as you can see, it's pushing up because of the pressure. Because there's bubbles. If you can see the bubbles coming up, that's showing that, indicating that there's air in the system. So you just let it run for a little bit, and then it should stop the bubbling. I say a good 1 to 5 minutes. It all really depends. And that's basically it. After that, you're done. You put the radiator cap on and you're ready to roll. Thank you.